6 o'clock. We're live. Just turned it on. All right. So this is our second three-man roundtable. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Kamikaze Killer, and yes, I shall be talking about Xbox and Microsoft today.
Yo, I'm TheGamerKeith, and I'll talk a little bit about E3, and I'll just chime in wherever I can.
My name is Squall, known as TS Protege, and I'm the ringleader of this motley crew. So I want to go right into our first topic, and Keith, that's going to be you, man. Go ahead.
All right, so pretty much E3. E3 is coming. It's just like winter. Winter is coming, and E3 is coming. It's going to be starting on June 15th, and a lot of stuff has already started coming out of the woodworks for E3. The first of the major announcements, at least in my opinion, is that Bethesda has already announced Fallout 4 for pretty much all the consoles, including PC. I did call it. I take full responsibility for this one. It's going to be pretty. From what I saw, it looks like it's going to be really cool. It looks like it's kind of like like a sequel almost to the other ones, like kind of giving you a little bit more information on Vault Tech and the nuclear holocaust, stuff like that. Then one of the bigger announcements, besides just Bethesda actually having an E3 conference, is that PC is actually going to be making a really big presence at E3 this year, which I think is absolutely phenomenal, because that really, if you really look at past E3s, there hasn't really been a whole lot of PC presence. I mean, they have like some games, obviously they have like Warcraft, or when they had StarCraft 2, stuff like that, but really there was no actual like dedicated conference or section for PC gaming, and that really kind of pissed off a lot of gamers, so I think that's going to be really cool this year. Then, really, lots of stuff is coming out of the woodworks for the games. Like, you're seeing some stuff about a new Gears of War project, which I have no idea what that's going to be about, and just like a new Destiny expansion, all sorts of cool things. Really, they haven't had too much out at the second, but it's going to be interesting. I think that's definitely going to be all about the games this year. And I really want to know what Nintendo has up their sleeves. Any ideas on what Nintendo has up their sleeves besides definitely Star Fox, maybe showing something from The Legend of Zelda, and maybe some talks about the NX?
Well, yeah, it's pretty much where we were last time. With all we can do is speculate, and I'm still standing by what I said. I think the NX is going to get revealed at the conference.
But one thing that I also wanted to point out, and this is kind of like up for a little bit of discussion as far as this is concerned, is where did this rumor come up that the NX was going to be Android-based as far as like the operating system? That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, I've actually followed this one up, believe it or not. This is something I would have not normally done, but I did. Alright, so the reason for it being is because the massive community of people that already are on Android and already are able to emulate all the games, they're basically just cutting their own work. So they're having less of a workforce by making it more of an open source thing. So that by making it Android, they're able to easily they're able to easily throw it out on all the other Android platforms, because they've realized how many people emulate all their games already. So they're throwing it on their they're going to be able to throw it onto the Play Store, so that you won't have to anymore emulate the games and have some dodgy way of emulating it. You'll be able to actually download the official emulator and run the games. So that's why they're going for Android.
Yeah, but Nintendo kind of already said that, like, listen, it's not going to be Android-based. I mean, if anything, I would think just for their own sanity, for lack of a better word, they would make their own OS. I mean, because they've always made their, whether it was with the Wii, whether it was with the Wii U, they've always made their own platform to a certain extent.
You think they'd make their own OS to go with mobile to sell to the mass consumer?
No, I'm saying like on their actual home console, because the NX, from what I can gather, for the most part, is going to be a home console. It's going to be not so much a successor to the Wii, but the NX is going to be a home console. So why don't they just make their own OS on that, and then have whatever cross-platform they have with their mobile games, whether it's going to be on Android, whether it's going to be on iPhone, stuff like that?
I see what you're saying. Now keep in mind though, Android is such an operating system that you can start with the base model and build out whatever kind of operating system you want. So it may still be proprietary, but just based on the Android platform.
Yeah, then, and if they base it on the Android platform, it'll be piss easy for them to switch over to whatever they want. So I mean, it'll be quite easy for them to emulate and run on whatever they want on whatever phone and device.
Interesting. And then Sony,
So-
I'm not, believe it or not, we were just talking about this previously to the start of this, was that I think that Sony's going to have an interesting conference this year, even though they said there's not going to be a whole lot of first-party titles. I think that they're going to make a pretty big splash with No Man's Sky. I think that we're going to see something more tangible this year on that.
Waiting to hear about it. I mean, so far as I can tell, there haven't been any headlines about it even making an appearance.
Yeah, but also in reality, we also didn't really know if there was going to be a Fallout 4, even though I thought there was going to be, but there it is. So maybe they're just kind of keeping it under like lock and key and be like, yeah, we're going to blow the competition away with this frickin' game.
I'm going to have to look up that clip because I'm pretty sure that we had a back and forth, Keith, where you were skeptical that there would be a Fallout 4 announcement. Yeah. And I said there's no way they're going to let that ball drop.
I was skeptical, yes, but I also thought they were going to wait until the actual press conference, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, here it is.
And you're probably still hard from it.
Oh, yeah, I am totally. And then if that wasn't enough, they announced pop vinyl figures for Fallout. I was all like, oh.
No.
I am silly, but lots of cool looking titles. I'm just looking at the list right now. Doom 4, supposedly they're going to make something there. That's what I think. That's definitely going to be at the Bethesda conference. And then we got supposedly there's going to be some stuff about Kingdom Hearts 3, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one because I'm still in the mindset that Square Enix hates money. There's very good conversation behind that. Star Wars Battlefront, I think, is going to be pretty cool.
Ooh.
I hope that's going to be cool, even though that there's a lot of stuff going on with that. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to be a really bad Battlefield clone, so on and so forth. But I don't know. I'm very optimistic because I loved Star Wars Battlefront. That was great. That was a great series.
Yeah, dude. When that game first came out, that was mind blowing. I'm really hoping that this next one just. If this is the last one, I'll probably be okay with it because it seems like it's just going to really run home everything that made the whole series awesome.
I really don't see a whole lot of like stuff besides Fallout, and I'm sorry if I keep on going to Fallout.
Well, that's what I'm going to these days.
All my friends just said, "Oh, we're buying Fallout, pre-ordering it." I'm like, "Oh wow!"
Fallout from Fallout.
So much.
Let's all go into the vaults now. I really don't see too many RPGs on on other major consoles other than Nintendo. Believe it or not, especially with Shin Megami Tensei, Cross Fire Emblem. What else do they have? They have a couple of cool things. Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is going to be at E3 supposedly.
You know, you make a good point, man. I don't think RPGs have really been in vogue since really the high point of the PlayStation days.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I thought that The Witcher 3, considering how that's been... I've been playing the shit out of that game, and I love that game. I can't wait until I finally sit down and do my review on it, but I'm just trying to give the game the justice that I think it deserves. And I just don't want to be like, oh, I only played it for 4 hours, so here's my review on it. I want to give it a little bit more in-depth discovery. But I think that with that... RPGs are going to start making the swing back, but I think that's going to be more focused on Western RPGs than JRPGs, which I like a lot more JRPGs versus the Western, but the Westerns are pretty cool because obviously I'm a Westerner, but...
You know, saying back to the RPG thing, I would say that there's been quite a lot of games that aren't officially said to be RPG, but they're still RPG, like Elite Dangerous. It's sort of an RPG, but it's not exactly an RPG, if you know what I mean. There's been quite a lot of games that are like sort of in the slip in between.
Right.
3 or 4 things.
Yes, it feels good on the slit.
It's like games will label themselves RPG because you're taking on the role of a character, but you're doing that in pretty much every game.
Everything,
I
yeah.
mean, Zelda considers itself an RPG, and that's definitely not an RPG. I'm talking about long form, 40 hours, story driven, like classic JRPG style, or some variation of that. And it's like in PlayStation 1 days, every other title was something like that.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
But,
With
So here, hang on a second. I got a list of the titles shown at E3,
Wow.
and we can talk here. I'll go through the exclusives for each system. So real quick here, let's start. Which one do you want to start with? Which system?
let's start with the underdog because I think that Xbox is not going to be a major player this year at E3 whatsoever.
Okay. Xbox exclusives. Crackdown, Fable Legends, Forza 6, Gears of War, Halo 6, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Scalebound, which I've never heard of.
Scalebound, I've seen stuff on it. I saw it last year at Microsoft's press conference. It looks interesting. I forget who makes it. Because it has like that frickin' dragon and like swords and sorcery going on with it. Like you actually take out who the hell makes it? Oh, Platinum Games makes it. Who made Bayonetta and who made what the hell is that other game Platinum Games made? But Platinum Games is making it, so that's how I remember it. And it's kind of gonna be like hack and slash dragons and stuff like that. Halo 5, that's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. I think that 343 Studios had one fucking job with the Master Chief Collection, and that was to make an HD remake, or not HD remake, but just HD a game, and they fucking failed at it. So I pardon my French on that one. So they're not making me too optimistic on the new game. I gotta be honest with you. And Rise of the Tomb Raider. That just pisses me off. Just because.
Wait, why does that piss you off?
Because that Tomb Raider was originally a PlayStation game, and then it became a cross-platform game, which I was fine with, honestly. But now it's becoming an exclusive game again.
Dude, that's the way the markets roll. I mean, if you can snatch up a major title like that, who wouldn't, really?
I guess, but I didn't really play the new one, to be honest with you. But then again, I was never really a huge Lara Croft fan. I mean, I liked her boobs, but I'll
I was just going to say, and this is going to be really controversial. I love pissed that they took the boobs away in the redesign. I get it. I understand why they wanted to do that, and to give focus on the character, which that's cool. But why can't you have depth of character and feminine wiles? I mean, why do these things have to be mutually exclusive? Why do feminists have to take away everything that makes the feminine extraordinary?
It's like Caitlyn Jenner. It's like, I didn't want to have big boobs because that would just be silly.
But wait,
if I was a woman, I would want massive breasts. I mean, you can rule the world with the right pair of breasts.
Right mammaries.
Say that.
I concur. I mean, I'm a firm believer that, like Brody Bruce, that if the news was done topless, that they could tell me the world's going to end tomorrow, and I'd be fine with it.
So are they actually releasing another Tomb Raider for the E3?
Yes.
Announcing.
They've already made the announcements. If anything, it's almost like a solid. I think it's going to be out this year.
I mean, as much as it may sound stupid, I think they've gone like the original game of Tomb Raider is kind of gone off what it used to be. But yeah, I do agree with your previous statements. But the actual game has kind of gone off what it used to be. If you know what I mean. Like it used to be like this really cool explore game, and now it's just hack and slash sort of. Just if you have realized.
Well, I haven't really seen too much on the new Tomb Raider, so I can't really say if it's hack and slash. I mean, the way that I remember Tomb Raider is that it was always like the point and shoot, and like you said, it had a lot of the exploring elements. I don't know if they have it in the new ones whatsoever.
The new one, dude, think Uncharted, basically.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So they're trying. This is Microsoft's answer for an Uncharted, in other words. So they picked up a major franchise and just did it that way. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. Those fuckers. I got you.
Right. Well, let's not neglect the other two with our 5 minutes here to cover E3. So we next.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Probably know this list as well as I could even.
It's like I know that list backwards, forwards, Chinese, Arabic. Yeah, I know it.
Right. All right, so the Wii exclusives are Brave Tank Hero, Gotcha Racing, Mario Maker, Ninja Strike, Shin Megami Tensei, Cross Fire Emblem,
Yeah,
Star
that was
Fox
the.
for Wii U, Xenoblade Chronicles, and Yoshi's Woolly World.
I'm sorry. I am a sucker for Yoshi's Woolly World. It's so cute and adorable. And God strike me down for saying it. I just think it's so fun. It looks so fun. And I so have the amiibos on my checklist, and it's terrible. I have no idea what Ninja Strike's about, but I can see it's by Natsumi, and Natsumi makes awesome games. I never really know a bad Natsumi game because they're the people that make Harvest Moon, so that should be interesting, to say the least. Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, that's the RPG that I was saying. I think that's going to be really, really cool.
What's the deal? Is that like how do you even do that? I don't understand where that would go.
Just think about it. I mean, with Shin Megami Tensei, it was always and I'm not talking about the newer Shin Megami Tenseis. That the whole series, on the whole, was always supposed to be like a cross world, like devils and swords and sorcery and all this other cool stuff with it. So that the fact that it's coming into the Fire Emblem universe, or that it's crossing over into it, I think it's going to be an interesting combination, to say the least. Turn-based, Fire Emblem with Shin Megami Tensei story. I think that's going to be awesome.
Is that how they're going to roll with it, though?
That's from what I see, and plus also from what I gather on it is that it's going to be completely customizable. This is going to be an RPG that you can pick not only from male and female characters, but also that the story is going to change up depending on which road that you decide to take, not so much just male and female. And as a lot of people know, or if you don't know, with Fire Emblem, once somebody dies in your party, they're fucking dead. They're not coming back. There's no going back. So
I never restarted from a save file in any game as much as I did with that one.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be fantastic. If they can do it right, I mean, honestly, that's going to be a really, really good game. A really good game. Especially since I know it's going to be on both the Wii U and the 3DS. So from what I gather, and this is all speculation, and I have 2 minutes left, that there's going to be some sort of
2 minutes left to get the third system.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. It's fucking awesome, is all I'm going to say.
All right. Your prediction for taking the show. Here's their exclusive titles list. A whopping Persona 4, Persona 5, Uncharted 4, and Until Dawn.
I am not familiar with any of those games, except for the Persona series, and I thought there was going to be something for No Man's Sky there. I guess not.
Well, it's not currently listed.
What's the last one they said?
What's that?
The last one.
The last one is Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. I mean, Uncharted 4 already, all the fanboys are going to be all over that, and I know that a lot of people love the series. I've never really played Uncharted, unfortunately. I got it pulled up right here, Until Dawn. It is a Sony second-party developer, supermassive game, survival horror game. I'm tired of the survival horror genre. Yeah. But what I think is going to take, Game of Show right now, I full-hearted believe that it's going to be a toss-up between Fallout 4, and I'm going to probably say that maybe something with. I'm trying to think of what else is really going to make an appearance, or it's going to be really stand out. Would probably be Metal Gear, but I think that's going to be about it. But I think Fallout's going to take off Game of Show. And
I gotta throw this out there. I am not tired of survival horror. I'm tired of it being done wrong.
Yeah.
It hasn't been survival horror since like the original Resident Evil series. It's been action horror.
Yeah,
I want to see an old school suspense thriller driven survival horror game.
Hopefully this Until Dawn is that. Maybe that is all you're desiring.
I mean, it looks like it. From what I can see, the character designs, it's some kind of. It looks Victorian era, but not. I don't know. I can't tell, but I always thought that would be like a really fun idea, like a survival horror before guns, because
Yeah.
that would really be like, oh, hello, what time it is.
It's
20
time to
minutes.
switch subjects.
It is. So, Kami, I believe that's your cue.
All right then. Then I shall open back to that tab. So we all know that Xbox has been very, oh, we hate PC. We're not gonna do much for PC. Blah 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 blah. Being Xbox and being the money-driven assholes they are. Um, so um, so recently they've had a change in heart. They are totally committed. Apparently, they've spent hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of their billions of budgets to help out Windows 10 to make it. Let me just get this quote right. We're fully committed as a company, and I've said that before. We made commitments to developers and consumers that I don't feel we've lived up to, he said. The key difference now is that Xbox team is driving the Windows and console gaming efforts as one connected ecosystem. So in other words, they're trying to make Xbox and PC work somehow, which they've done with their stupid Xbox stream. But what the main thing they're doing is allowing people that program to have a sort of Unity-like way of making games on PC for Xbox and PC. So they're spending more budget to make it easier for people to create games for their console on PC than it used to be. So it'll be much easier for people that are like newcomers to the whole gaming side to be able to create small things. But doing that also can increase some of the more stupid people that will make something crap, and yeah. But hopefully this will work out well on their side.
Well, two things, man. One, making it easier to program for the system is exactly what Microsoft did with the first Xbox that got them such a lion's share of the market when it came out. Nothing else would have been as successful doing that for the first time, and Apple is a perfect example. They tried and totally bombed. But I don't know if I agree that they've neglected PC all this time. In fact, when the announcement was made, the guy said, we've made promises in the past and haven't lived up to them, and we're now refocusing and doing that. I'm kind of like, how many promises is he going to make before they actually do it? And it's just
exactly.
really going to be the time that they come through and make it work.
Yeah, but according to this, is basically, in other words, they're making they're making Windows 10 an easy way to have your Xbox and Windows 10 run games and easy to program games. So basically, if you have an Xbox, you're able to play on all your games on your PC at the same time. So they're going more of that. They're getting it a bit more multi-platform. They're trying to get hip with the PC master race, if I may add that.
Well, I think that they're just trying to open up to more of the audience on there, but that was going back to what you were actually saying last week with PlayStation 4 and PC. So I think that kind of Xbox is kind of almost cutting them to the chase, or not cutting them to the chase, but they're kind of cutting a little bit more to what you were saying last week with Steam and whatnot. So I think it should be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
I don't really think that it's a bad thing having developers being able to develop more stuff for their platform, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, the only thing that I'm a little iffy on is the whole Windows 10 thing. I really don't know too much about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like currently as it stands, you can actually just stream from your console onto your PC, which I find totally stupid.
Yeah, it seems a little counterproductive, doesn't it?
It's like, not only that, but I mean, so you're streaming, or you can stream your game, but so if you're playing a FPS game, which is controller, it's going to be heavily unfair for the people that have a mouse and keyboard. Just saying.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that I think that they already started doing that because, like, with The Witcher 3, for example, like, I actually have it on PC, and you could play with an Xbox One controller, which I thought was really interesting to say the least. I mean, I tried it out, and the controls are a little the controls are a little wonky in that game to a certain extent, anyway.
Yeah.
But I find it a lot easier with the mouse and keyboard versus the controller. So I think that that was like probably like the beta test, or not even the beta test, like it was the test to see if they actually. Are you putting something in your ears?
I'm trying to get better reception.
Okay then. I just see you in the corner over here. I'm like, what the shit is going on here? Am I like?
Nobody knows. Don't try to understand.
Oh wow.
Anyway, I lost my train of thought now. God damn you. I think that was kind of
accomplished.
That was kind of the test to see if it works, and I think that they probably succeeded at it to a certain extent.
I mean, it also depends on, like, some games are designed for controller, and some games just purely don't work with it. I mean, for example, I'm just gonna say this: GTA on mouse and keyboard, it is the most ridiculous, the most complicated system for controlling. It's like you use your numpad to fly, you use WASD to control the car that drive it, but you can't use WASD. You have to hold Shift and WASD to control the car in flight. Yes. When the car's in flight, you have to click Shift and then WASD. But on an Xbox controller, like I have here, no, I do not own a console. All you got to do, so you drive with the same stick as you control the car in the air, and it's like, why can't you just do the same thing on PC? And it's like, so you only
have all these keys for it.
Yeah, on a keyboard and mouse, they actually use nearly all the keys to control your GTA game. On a controller, they were able to
So you're
it all into
complaining
that.
now about being the PC master race.
No, I'm saying some games are not worth it to be bothering with controller. But some games that you can like use a controller for, it's much easier. For example, for GTA, I drive, fly, and such on a controller, but I shoot and kill on a keyboard and mouse. But then, like on Witcher, I agree that like the idea of a controller could work out. But again, them having to make a whole UI to work with it, you know, you switch things, and that's going to take a while to figure out also.
And with that being said, I mean, really, I think that PC gaming is amazing. I think that PC gaming has a lot of its faults. I do like the controller for it, and certain aspects, like I wanted to get the X-Wing game from Steam because that was one of my favorite games by all times. Playing it as a kid, I want to get the flight
about like X-Wing TIE Fighter from like Windows 95 days.
Yes,
Oh my
it's on
God.
Steam. Yes, it
I
is.
used to have that.
I love that effing game.
Yeah.
You have no idea. But I want to get like the controller stick for it. I think that really, when developers are doing stuff, I think that they really aren't looking at the PC option, that they're looking for console, because console is so much easier to do. You just pop the game in and then it's done. So when they start making ports to PC, they don't really keep in mind that it's like, oh, well, we're kind of limited. We're putting this huge controller on everything now. So I think that kind of is a little bit of the deterrent. So
Going back to the I just need to ask this question. Are you gonna buy yoke or 2 joysticks?
Well, hold on, do that 2 joysticks thing again. I just need to make a GIF of it and put a couple in.
A yoke as in.
No, I would get I would get the two. I would get a throttle, I guess. So I guess it would be more like. Sexual innuendos.
So you're not going for the 2-stick option, or you're not.
Not unless I decided to get in public office. And that's kind of the way you get in.
It's like yes. Okay then.
So interestingly, actually, I just remembered. I saw that Microsoft is going to be participating in the PC conference.
Yeah.
As Xbox reps.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, do you think that this is going to put? Now, this is everybody's personal opinion on this one. Do you think this is going to affect Steam in any way, shape, or form? Now that they're going to have this cross-platform anality, so if they make a game for Xbox One, that it's going to be on PC, and generally, with you have those cross-platforms, it's on Steam.
See, what I think's going to happen is Xbox aren't going to go at all towards Steam, and all the exclusives that people actually like on Xbox. For example, the god awful Halo. I hate it. I admit I hate the game. So everybody that's gonna be like, oh, so now I don't have to buy a stupid console. I can just go PC. Huh. Okay. There you go. I think it's gonna become more of like people are gonna buy an Xbox, but they're gonna be like, oh, I can just play I can play that game that I've always wanted to play on my PC, and I don't have to have Steam. So I mean, it might go that way. I think. I think they'll make more money off of it. Yeah.
But this is the thing. I mean, especially with Halo, is that everybody that plays Halo generally has it on their Xbox One, and I don't really think that they have too much of a PC option. So that's why they kind of stick with it. So I really don't think that's going to open up too many doors, honestly, with PC. I think that really they're trying to build more PC line, but the problem is, especially with PC, and we talk about this all the time, is that with PC is that if you're not on your A game, you're not constantly making upgrades for it, that you're not going to be able to play certain games. So I think that maybe they're going to. I think this may be a bad thing because they may dull down certain aspects of games now.
Yeah, see, I actually agree with that because then if you compare PC to Xbox, the quality is much lower on Xbox than on the PC. So that would mean if you had to play the game on the PC, it would be much lower quality. But then you wouldn't need to keep upgrading because you'd need something just a little bit more powerful than an Xbox, which isn't that hard.
So I think that may, now the more that we really talk about it, the more that I'm starting to get really upset with the idea. Just that I think that Microsoft needs to accept PC as far as they need to accept that Steam is there, or that I think that Steam needs to be, or even just Steam in general, needs to make a major presence. And kind of like separate that between Microsoft and Steam, because really, the more I think on it, is that I think that Xbox needs to stick with what they know as far as console gaming and try not to make too much of the cross-platform. Leave the PC to the masters of Steam and the developers for that. I think that maybe it should just stay the way it is.
I strongly disagree with that last point, the idea of leaving PC to Steam. Steam's a powerhouse now, so much so that they can, and we'll get to talk about this in a minute, but they can do things that will affect the industry as a whole. Like, they have that much
power
of a market. And having no competition, no major competition in that sphere, fosters that sort of monopoly, and what Steam does is pretty much what will go in the PC gaming market, and we definitely need somebody to step in with the leverage like Microsoft has to say, we're going to compete with you, and you're going to have to step up your game if you want to maintain your market presence.
But are they really going to compete with it that much? I mean, how many, honestly, PC gamers that actually have an Xbox, and vice versa?
I mean, as it stands, I'm just gonna say this. As it stands, if Microsoft somehow gets to do the whole Steam Greenlight thing, but Microsoft Greenlight, and they actually filter through the crap that people post on there, and they provide a better service, and are able to provide games that Steam provides, not all the games. I'm not gonna say everything because they probably won't be able to, but I'm saying if they provide more games that Steam or a better variety of games, I do believe that Microsoft might take over, just for the pure reason that Steam currently, as it stands, has a shit support. Steam Greenlight basically allows crappy, shitty games to go on that everybody thinks are crap, but they still allow them on there.
Iron Bread.
Iron Bread was alright. But Goat Simulator, the buggy piece of crap that Goat Simulator just. But I mean that sort of stuff makes me just go, So Microsoft could currently, as Steam stands, Microsoft could easily beat Steam out if they just provide a better service. People at the beginning will be like, "Oh, that's shit," But what's going to happen is Microsoft's going to beat Steam for a while, but because Steam has stockpiled the tons and tons of money, they're going to like, you know what, we've got fuck tons of money now, let's spend it on this, and then it's going to be like a balance between the two. That's like is going to happen like Xbox and PS4.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Microsoft's not going to take it over. Microsoft's certainly not going to kick Steam out of the PC space, but they'll be the first company that really has the power to put some pressure on them. And you pretty much just hit what I was thinking. You know, if you look at like Xbox Live, right, their entire indie development section, that can all go on PC tomorrow. And now all those games are available. And then they can do something just like Greenlight, where it's now they're competing for indie developers, and Microsoft can offer all kinds of incentives to get these guys on their platform, and then you'll see the race start.
But also, because there's going to be a competition, it's going to allow for the actual market to improve in quality. Because as it currently stands, although Steam provides these amazing games, yes, they're kind of shitting on their customers. Just their support. That's all I have to say. Their support. That is the two words I have to say. Their support.
Going back to actually what T.S. Projet was saying is that I think that now that he brings it up, he makes a really good point that a lot of the indie developers that are on Microsoft now will actually have a lot more of a market for everything. I mean, like, I think that indie developers are going to be the way of the future by far. I mean, like, I just watched one game that I actually saw in a tweet, and then I tweeted them back because I watched their gameplay. Was Play Tanzia. That looked like a really cool, fun RPG game. Like, it kind of felt like Diablo-esque, but it was a little bit more cartoony. I think that indie developers are going to be the way of the future by far. And since Microsoft really took them under their wing, especially with like Ori and the Blind Forest and Braid, all those really good titles. That now that it's like I'm soaking the information in slowly. I'm like a sponge.
I mean, have you heard of Super Meat Boy? It started off on Xbox 360 as a crappy little cube jumping around, but people started liking the idea, so they carried on making and upgrading the game. And they made quite a bit of money off of it on Xbox, and then they were like, okay, let's send it to PC. And it's now on PC, so I think Microsoft has the power and the utilities to make it like a market that's more balanced for PC, for Microsoft and Steam. I think it's going to allow for indie developers to have a better time creating things, as they'll have a bit of a more wider variety than just Steam. Because as it stands on Steam, your game, you might create the best game ever, but there's a bug at the beginning of the game. Everybody hates it. It never gets shown off to the world. But then if someone creates something that's more valued off, then it might get better. So hopefully, I agree with the whole Steam. The indie developers are the way to go, because they simply are.
Well, you be frank. When it comes to creating, the indie developers are the ones that are hungry. They're the ones that are driven strictly by the passion. Like we were talking about last time, how it's all business. And just to put it in perspective, right? We mentioned No Man's Sky several times. That's an indie developer. That's a small company.
Yeah.
And that game looks amazing. Jinx.
Damn it. What do I owe you now?
He's supposed to smack you when you jinx.
Yeah, I know. I'm a complete 5-year-old at heart, but it should be interesting. I mean, now that's going to probably be one of the more focal points at going back to E3. I think that'll definitely be interesting. Now that we keep on talking more and more about it, that maybe this will open up some doors for a lot of different things.
Certainly gives you a lot of possible content to talk about on your channel for the next week or so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I got nothing else as far as this topic is concerned, because I'm still, again, I'm absorbed in it, like my mind's blown a little bit right now.
Well, Kami, what do you think is the bottom line with Microsoft saying they're going to refocus on PC? At least I'm still dubious.
Well, I'll simply say this: if they go ahead and make the whole Steam idea, and they're able to produce the whole we're competitor to Steam, and we're going to help out the indie developers, and that, I do believe that there is going to be something that's going to push Microsoft forward and allow for it to actually help out the entire community. But if they just go into it for just purely we're just going to stream our stupid games to your stupid PC that you're probably not going to be bothering to, if they just go for that, and just for the idea of just helping out the people that want to program for Xbox, I don't think the idea is going to go anywhere. So their billions of pounds they're pouring into the idea, it's not going to go anywhere.
I think the bottom line, the most important thing on this whole move, great for Microsoft and gamers overall, but what's really going to shake up the world is how Steam responds to it.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
they do.
Well, Steve's probably going to just whip out their dick and just like flop out on the table and be like, "You see this?" And the Microsoft's going to be like,
"That's possible, but if they do that, that's the end for them." I mean, we've seen that happen in the past.
Yeah.
Complacent companies go bye-bye.
Yeah. Very true.
But this actually segues nicely. Steam, yeah. Do you guys remember Steam taking down Hatred?
Yes.
Yes.
They've re-enabled it now. They've re-allowed it.
They re-allowed it. Gabe Newell put it right back up. Said we don't do that. And then, if you followed it, Hatred submitted to the ESRB, even though they don't have to, and got an adults-only rating.
Yeah.
Which controversially, a lot of people who have played it have said it really doesn't earn an adults-only rating,
Exactly.
except possibly for the context of the violence in the game, even though it's an inch away from anything else that's already been done.
I mean, it's no worse than Grand Theft Auto. If you really think about it, when San Andreas came out, everybody was like, "Oh, just because there's two people that are having sex, that now it's adult-only game." But you see worse things in...
It's the context, though. In Grand Theft Auto, you have the freedom to do these things. In Hatred, it's the whole point. Like, you've gone batshit crazy, and the whole point of the game is mass genocide.
I mean.
But now here's where it gets into, and this is why I wanted to talk about Twitch today, because Twitch announces they will not run any adults-only games on the service anymore, seemingly in direct response to Hatred.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've heard so much on this. They've basically they've gone. They could have just said we're not allowing Hatred, but instead what they did, they said we're not allowing adults only, and they tried to make it seem like it's not towards Hatred, but it is so blatantly is. They tried to mask it as if, oh no, we're just saying adults only. No, we're not doing that. But they could have literally just said Hatred, because they've blocked off quite a lot of games that could have. Some people might have liked streaming and watching that. I mean, there ain't many, but
they effectively already had a no adults only, because typically that rating only goes to games that have large amounts of pornographic content. And they don't allow that on the service already anyway. But this announcement comes right on the heels of a game getting an adults only rating strictly for the violent content.
Yeah.
Which that's really transparent to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had my mic muted because I was pulling up the list of games that were actually banned for adult only on Twitch. But it kind of, if you really think about it, it's friggin' stupid. Just because, I mean, why ban these games? I mean, because you can make the same argument with like Leisure Suit Larry. Like the whole game is, the point on it is for you to get laid. And you're not banning that game. I mean, because I was actually playing that game when I was doing my 24-hour stream, and if they took me down because of that, I would have been fucking pissed.
Yeah, but Leisure Suit Larry is only suggestive. There's nothing that's like blatantly. You don't actually have a sex scene in that game like you do, for instance, in
a girl fucks a teddy bear.
What?
I said a girl has sex with a teddy bear. Do you see it? No, but it's like blatantly obvious that it's like, oh.
Like, what do you mean by she has sex with a teddy bear? Like, they show
like
her grab a teddy bear?
Well, it's in the dark, and all you hear is noises, but literally this... I love Kami's reaction. He's just so like, yes.
I've played the game.
Is that a girl? It's a girl that Larry seduces, but she does not want to have intercourse yet. So she's like, the only way that you can have sex with me is you have to put a strap-on on. And Larry's all like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then he's like, well, maybe if I put it on this teddy bear, this strap-on, Then when she gets all good and horned up, I can slip the real thing in, and she won't know the difference. And that happens, and you're telling, and it's like that's clearly blatantly obvious of what's going on here. So why would it that you would ban that game, but you're allowed to okay that game? I think it all boils down to like you got to take certain things in strides.
And for the record, if anybody is sick in the head and curious about things like that, like I am, that's called plushophilia. Apparently, that's a thing.
Okay then. Is that like what the hell are they? Where you like when you have intercourse with friggin' with like the I think they're called furries. Is that what it's called?
No, plushophilia is strictly stuffed animals.
Okay.
Like plush animals.
Like exactly what you just described.
Yeah.
It's apparently a thing, and there was even a news report of somebody getting arrested for doing it in public.
Wow. Okay.
That's a driven individual right there.
But one game that I was actually shocked that is on this list, and because I have the list right now up here, because there's like 26 games that are banned, is Indigo Prophecy. I mean,
What?
Indigo Prophecy was an amazing game. Like
Is it
that
banned
was
for sexual content?
no, it's banned for being an adults-only game.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was AO.
That's one of the. It's rated M for mature, at least the version that I played. But there's a director's cut of it. It's called Fahrenheit, and that game is banned. Like what the hell is going on here? I mean, that game was amazing, and it was a forefront for such games as like what the hell was that game on PlayStation 3? Oh shit, I don't have it here.
Hard Rain.
Hard Rain, that's it.
Yeah. I mean that's what I'm trying to say. It's like the whole them just saying, them trying to mask the whole, let's just hide, let's just because of the amount of hype that hatred created, they just instead of saying, we're gonna ban hype, so they didn't have like a million people coming at them, they try to hide it by trying to just say, now we just decided that we're gonna ban all adult-only games. They could have literally just said that and prevented good games being banned.
It's a proper PR move. I mean, if they needed to do it and avoid any further
Issues, yeah.
because they got enough trouble when they took it off Greenlight in the first place. The thing that gets me is I'm a twisted individual and really
Who apparently has plushophilia.
I saw Twisted and I was like, that is kind of awesome. You know, I felt guilty, but I still felt like that's kind of awesome. I want to play it because I'm sick. And I wanted to stream it, and I can't.
Yeah.
And actually, I kind of agree with Twitch on that, but at the same time, like to me, it crosses a certain principle line, and it really ticks me off. And now I'm kind of like, well, you know, the hell with you guys. But then again, you can't, because I look at YouTube for streaming now, right? Because they're bumping up their standards to include like 4K gaming and things. They're really trying to make it something that competes with Twitch, but then the interface is such that streaming games, like discovery on YouTube, is nowhere near as effective as it is on Twitch. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm torn on that.
Well, I think that YouTube was just trying to make a competition for Twitch, but I think that they kind of are failing at it, especially since more notable YouTube people that do stream games are on Twitch.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think if you already have the exposure, like if people already know you, live streaming games on YouTube is probably perfect. But if you're like in our position, where it's like you need to collect your community right now, you're still in the early stages. If you go to Twitch, right? You pick the game you want, and like on the home page, there's all the games listed. You click on a game, and then you can find a streamer for that game. I mean, the only thing to do there is find people streaming games, and everybody's going to find a game that they're interested in because that's how it's organized. On YouTube, if you go to live streaming, gaming is like each category has 4 videos that they're highlighting, and gaming is one category out of like 20, and they're trying to do everything for soup to nuts that you would find on TV. So exposure on YouTube is practically impossible.
Yeah.
And also piggybacking off of your subject that you were talking about with just Twitch in general, since I'm guessing, can we do a little bit more of a broader spectrum of Twitch on this, or are we just really
Yeah,
focusing on? Is that I mean, I'm starting to get into the community a little bit, and I was talking to my friends Link and Lily, and they're really cool people, and they're pretty not huge streamers, but they're building their audience for it. And they were talking about I don't know if I talked about this in the last show or not. Is they were talking about actually being picked up and like getting that little subscribe button. And for those of you who are not familiar with the subscribe button on Twitch, is that pretty much if Twitch notices that you're getting a constant stream of people and they will give you a little subscribe button, it's $5, and generally that means that they support you, and that it kind of goes to Twitch also, and a little bit goes to you. So you're supporting both the stream, the Twitcher and the Twitchy, if that makes any sense. I just used words. I'm sorry. You're supporting Twitch, and you're also supporting the Twitch streamer. But they were just saying, like, some of these people that are getting picked up, like, they're really not doing too much different than what, like, say, myself or they are doing. But I'm getting really happy for them that they're starting to build their audience up, and they're actually getting, like, people that are doing donations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is everybody's opinion as far as, like, how Twitch is really growing? Like, do you think that the subscription base that they have for it is gonna stay around, or do you think that YouTube, since they're trying to make this switch for everything, is that gonna change it up, or?
I'm actually going to look into that YouTube switch today. That's on my agenda after we're done here. But Keith, I want to put some links to this couple you're talking about that does the Twitch streaming. If you can give that to me so I can put it in the description when this is done.
Sure, absolutely.
So that way everybody can see what we're talking about with them.
Yeah, they're a really cool couple, and they think my name is Steve.
Wow.
Steve?
Yeah, it's because when I started following them, and they were like, "Oh, TheGamerKeith, that's really original." I'm all like, "Yeah." They're like, "Is that your real name?" I'm like, "No, my real name is Steve." And I was like, "Ha ha ha." They were like, "Yeah, that's your slave name, and now you're going by TheGamerKeith." It was funny.
You're being dominated. Never knew, Keith.
Yeah, I know. I never said that I was perfect, but
No, it's okay. I'm with it. I can get into that. I mean, hell, dude, I like hatred. What do you think that tells you about me and the things that I might be into in the Dark Knight?
I am the Knight. I think we killed Kami.
Yeah, you have indeed.
His poster's talking though, so we're okay.
All right, that's good. I think that Twitch is like you said, they're just making a lot of different moves, and I just think that with the super giant that they're really becoming with streaming, why they would cut out games like this when pretty much any kid can just pick. They're on the internet, for the love of God, that any kid could just freaking Google search freaking plushophilia, and now you're watching a grown man fuck a teddy bear. So there you go.
Well, here's the question that I'm sort of plagued with, and I guess I'm trying to decide. If I really don't like that Twitch did this, and specifically, I guess I'm taking it personal because I wanted to play Hatred on Twitch, but I'm allowed to do that. So the question becomes, do I grin and bear it because Twitch is otherwise a really awesome service, and just say, they're perfectly within their right, I shouldn't hold a grudge, or make the effort, be sort of an early adopter, streaming exclusively on YouTube, and hope that YouTube kicks up their support for it, or like, how do you assess that judgment? Like, where do you place your?
I feel you. It's like which train do you back? I feel you, because there's another big service that's starting up. It's called Hitbox. That's supposedly going to be the Twitch competitor, more so than YouTube. And
I mean, just going back to your idea, I mean, I think that you should back the thing that you feel the most comfortable with, but then also you should back the thing that kind of you think will impact the way. So I mean, as you see right now, Twitch is just they're on the top of their game currently, and if they're on the top of the game, it can't really go. It's either going to stay, or it's going to slowly degrade, or go slowly higher. But then if YouTube has started off and they're pushing their goals to get up higher and higher, the 4K streaming, the this, that, and the other, they hopefully will get the better support and the better way of getting people like Twitch has. But as it stands right now, I can't tell you that will happen. But personally, if I was to start streaming today, I would actually start with YouTube. This is just me saying it.
See, that's what I'm thinking, because it's like there are rewards for being an early adopter. Like I think about YouTube in its beginning stages, because it was a new space. Like I've said this so many times. If you made a video, it got views. I mean, it wasn't like you had to go out and promote it and show it on forums and Reddit and all of this stuff. Like it was just that was what YouTube was for. It was a community to make it happen. So I'm thinking, like, if you're one of only a couple hundred people streaming on YouTube, that's got to go some distance. But I don't know
what distance.
You know,
balances.
Maybe you're right, TS Prosha. Maybe I'm going to start backing that horse. I mean, because since I'm starting...
Look, God damn it!
What the hell?
I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead. You're going to back that dead horse.
You're going to back that dead horse into the plush.
Yes.
YouTube's like my plushy love doll.
I thought I was gonna. What the hell is I gonna say now? Now
you're thinking that you're probably going to
start. Yeah, because maybe if I make the switch over to YouTube, maybe I'll start getting a little bit more views and whatnot. Because, like you said, if there's only 100 videos and you're one of them, or one of 100 streamers and you're one of them, eventually somebody's gonna watch you.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, if somebody wants to see game streams, their first reaction is going to be Twitch, obviously. But because Twitch has taken the stance they have with this adults only, I think you actually can stream Hatred on YouTube.
You can.
So if somebody wants to see that game, guess where they're going?
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that's really going to be standing in the way for YouTube competing really hard with Twitch is the way they have it organized. But that's something that, with a little pressure and time, perhaps will evolve.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, you've given me something to look at and something to look forward to as far as that's concerned. I think I'm going to definitely look into that, and you've heard it here first, sort of thing.
By the way, is Hatred out? I thought it was the first, right? June 1st?
Find out right now.
We're such gamers.
Yeah, clearly. Hatred game. Yes, it's out right now, 1999.
What, Hatred?
Yeah, it's initial release date.
It's been out
June
for
1st, yes.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
4 days now.
Remember it, I literally just forgot. I just zoned out for a second. Sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna say what I'm saying, but after this 2 minutes ends, you'll see what I'm gonna say.
Like, you were like up and down. Were you ROFL there, man?
Pretty much, yes. Because I read something and I was happy, and I was so damn happy that I'm gonna get something for free. Then I read participating countries include. Then I wasn't happy. End of.
He's all like, damn it.
Your 3D park there, huh?
But you guys are gonna have the chance to do what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you in a minute, but I ain't. Damn it! I wanted it so badly.
You're gonna have to move, man.
Man, all I got to move to is Australia, Korea, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Philippines, or Turkey.
As he goes through
the or Utah.
And I'll be fine. What?
Utah, where your 4D gaming thing is gonna happen. And that's about the only thing that's going to be in Utah?
Yeah, true.
Other than a lot of angry buffalo.
Well, I was going to say Salt Lake City and the Jazz, where there is no jazz, but...
But anyway, yeah. minute to wrap up. Final thoughts, goodbyes, what have you guys?
You first, Kami?
Alright, so I'm gonna start off with well, enjoy your National Donut Day 2015 and get a free Krispy Kreme. Though this video is not sponsored by Krispy Kreme, but apparently you get free Krispy Kremes. So you guys can go get a flipping free Krispy Kreme, and I can't because I'm not a participating country. Fuck me. And
Free
but
donut.
anyway, exactly. So that's what was pissing me off. I was like, ugh, I wanted the damn donut, the damn sweet, succulent, free donut. But sadly that is not possible for me. So you guys can go do that. Anyway, guys, thanks for participating. And then if you are watching this, and good on you. Watch the next one, and what the next one after, and the next one after that, and the next one after that, and I can go on for another million years. But who knows? And here, on to you, Keith.
Thank you, Kami. And pretty much, I want to say that I hope everybody enjoyed this. I got a lot of good stuff out of this. I'm gonna really look into different moves for myself as far as a streamer, as far as a YouTuber, as far as the gaming personality that I'm trying to build with myself here, and look forward to E3. And definitely, like Kami said, check us out and everything along those lines, because I'm having a lot of fun doing this with you guys. This is a lot of fun. I wish that we can get maybe like a fourth person in on this, so that way we can grow it and make it a little bit more, diverse with everything. But this is awesome. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. And I pass it off to you.
And since I'm the host, well, I'm the host, but I'm also going to send this video to you guys.
The host with the most.
But I'm just going to say, hit me up on Twitter, as I usually ask. It's the same username. It'll be in the description below. But also a question for anybody who got this far in the video, and by the way, congratulations, holy shit.
Let organize the last one.
What would be the term for somebody who is sexually excited by donuts? And I couldn't. So if somebody wants to do that research and put it in the comments, I would sure love to know.
A donophile?
I feel like it'd be like a pastryophile or something. But
man who has sex with pastries.
Exactly, or at least gets sex.
The pie fucker.
I just see like a guy rubbing donuts on his nipples, like ah.
Does that make Jason Biggs one?
Maybe, and that's the thing. Like, what would that be? I want to know. So that's how I'm gonna end this video. Tell me, what in the world is it when somebody has sex with donuts?
So answer the question in the comment sections below, and as I like to always say, good fight, good night, and game on, everybody.